guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Oblong Polka Dots and my name is Kerr, and on this channel we talk about makeup, skincare, and beauty. So if that's something you're into, then you've come to the right place. Today I want to talk to you about the eyeshadow palettes that I used in the month of February. For February I did not use very many eyeshadow palettes, and I believe that is because for 1 week I was off. So I think we went on a trip and did some stuff, so I really didn't use as many as I normally would have. That being said, I want to go ahead and start off with, let's see, what do we want to start off with? I have a few down here. There's really not that many. But I'll start off here. I guess I'll do it in chronological order. So what I do is I put a little sticky note on the back of it so I know the date when I use the palette. And then that way I don't reuse the palette. But in this case, this is the Huda Beauty Obsessions palette. This is the Amethyst Obsessions. The Obsessions are part of a series, and this one is the purple shade. It comes in this little plastic sleeve. You guys have seen this on my channel many times before, and this is what the palette looks like. It's a series of really beautiful amethyst jewel toned purples. I love this palette. I use it quite frequently. I love purple, so I feel like it's a color that I reach for a lot. I can show you a couple of swatches too. Let's swatch just this top row right here. So I'll go from left to right, 2, 3. So there is a satin, here, let me hold it up. You have a satin, a shimmer, and a matte in that top row, which is really quite representative of how this palette is. And I didn't really do a very hard swatch, but this is what it looks like. These colors are really easy to work with. This palette has been around for a long time. I think that you can still purchase it. I bought mine over at Sephora. Overall, I love this palette, which is why I reach for it quite frequently. I really like 9-pan palettes in general because they're easy to work with. They're small or big or just whatever. But I guess the point is, if you have 9 colors from which to choose, then you're not really going to go overboard, right? You're not going to be too overwhelmed in trying to figure out a look. And it's really good for when you're in a hurry and you are trying to get everything going for work. So I definitely recommend these palettes. The next one is the, another Obsessions palette. So this is the Huda Beauty Obsessions palette, and this one is the Smokey Obsessions. Again, they all come with this little plastic sleeve on them, and then this is what the palette looks like. Oops, don't drop it. This one is definitely really nice in terms of having more neutral tones in it. And even though it says smoky, I think the 2 darkest colors would be the black and then this chocolatey brown down here. And then maybe like kind of these 2 right here. But you can make a really nice neutral look with this palette. I've reached for this one several times as well. And I'll go ahead and I'll swatch the 3 shades here in the middle, this row right here, just so you can kind of see what it looks like. You have that silvery shade, that really buttery brown shade, and then that kind of golden. This is what it looks like, and then here's what it is on my hand. Do you see that? It's really nice pigmentation. It's so easy to work with. The colors are quite creamy. The mattes are really, I don't really have a lot of fallout from the mattes, if any, and I definitely recommend this palette because it's just super easy. You can make a nice daytime look. You can make a nice smoky look. You can also use a lot of these shadows just individually, so you can have just a monochrome look. This palette plays well with others, so if you want to match it with another set of palettes that you like working with, it's just easy to work with. So I think that's why I really love these little palettes. Again, you have 9 shades. You can't really, you can't go wrong with 9 shades. It's pretty easy to work with, right? You're not going to get overwhelmed. Yeah, love this palette. The next one that I used for the month was a ColourPop palette. This is the Down to Earth. They have a series of 4, they have a series of quad palettes that they came out with for, they're in various groupings. So they kind of have their own little groups. Like there's a jewel themed group. This group, I don't know what they're called. I have no idea. I don't know if it was maybe just the first ones they came out with. But this is the Down to Earth palette. I actually made videos for all of these palettes, you guys, so you can find them on my playlist and the Get Ready With Me if you're interested. I really like this one a lot, though. This was very easy to work with. I felt the colors were really saturated. They're definitely true to the pan, so what you see is what you get. And they're just pretty. It's a really pretty palette. I think that you can get away with wearing this for fall and winter for sure, and it just makes a really nice daytime look. So I do recommend this palette. Next one that I use, I don't know why I keep putting these back in the boxes, you guys. I'm taking them out of the boxes now. All right, you heard it here first. Taking it out. Put in the box in the recycling. Keeping the Lucite palette. Moving on. The next one that I use is also from ColourPop. Again, they had like a series of these quad palettes that came out, and they're all kind of grouped together under their own themes. I don't know what this one is grouped under. But this one is the Sparkler palette, and this is what it looks like. I love these. I'm so glad that I bought a gazillion of them. They're so easy to work with. This one in particular, I just thought it was really pretty. It's a nice set of neutrals, which I love neutrals. You have your two shimmers on the top, and then on the bottom you have your two mattes, and that seems to be kind of the theme for these palettes. You get shimmers on the top, mattes on the bottom. Or I think I may even have come across one where there's 3 shimmers and 1 matte. But either way, they're super duper easy to work with. I'm going to go ahead and swatch these 2 colors right here, this one and this one, just so you can see what they look like. Very little kickback in the pan from the matte. It's a dry formula, but it's not like super dry. Do you see that? Do you see how that came out? Look at how easy that is, you guys. It's just, you know, what are you going to do? It's ColourPop. Once they get their formulas down, they get them down. They don't stray from it. They have a couple times where they might be testing them out, but when they figure it out, that's it. That's a wrap. You'll be seeing that same consistent formula over and over again in other palettes, and I love it, and I'm here for it. Affordable, beautiful, easy to work with, not overwhelming, perfect for beginners. Gotta have it. So that was Sparkler. And then the next one that I used, of course, is a tried and true. This is Juvia's Place, and it is the Nomad by Juvia's Place. And then this is what, oops, I keep the plastic in there to keep it from, you know, kind of getting messy. I really love this palette a lot. It's so pretty. The formula is easy to work with. It's very pigmented. These colors are beautiful, and I believe that they are relatively universal because you do have the lighter shades on this side. So I feel like every skin tone can get something from this palette. That being said, I think that the color I use the most would be this one in the center, followed by this one right here next to it, and I think this one right here at the bottom. They're not labeled, they don't have names, but I definitely have paired this palette with other palettes for other looks, and it's just beautiful. It's Juvia's Place, you know. They have the formula down over there. I'll go ahead and swatch those 3 that I just mentioned to you that I really love. This one, and this one. Excuse me. This one, and this one, just so you can kind of see what it looks like. I got my little trifecta going there. Let's see. Look at that. Can you see that? Isn't that nice? Look at this. This is like a really beautiful kind of khaki green. And this is what it swatches like on the hand. I mean, they are so easy to work with, so easy to blend. That center one is just this beautiful, wet, shimmery kind of shade. So, you know, again, it's Juvia's Place. You guys have seen it before. I don't really need to explain it. I'm here for it. Love it. I order all of my Juvia's Place from Ulta, or I go into Ulta and purchase my Juvia's Place. I've heard a lot of feedback about the Juvia's Place website. So without being negative, I just decided that the best way for me to order Juvia's Place palettes and enjoy them is to just go ahead through the Ulta website. So that's where I get mine. And what's nice too is that I get points. You know, if you're an Ulta member, you get points for the program. It's free. You should join. It's a nice perk. So the next one I use is also from ColourPop. This is just a really ColourPop heavy month. This also was part of their, they had a series of palettes that had to do with the zodiac. And this one is called Never Taurus Apart. Let's see. My fiance is a Taurus, so I had to buy this, of course. And it's a really lovely little palette. Here, let me show you. Look at that. This green is really what caught my eye. Let me flip this up so you can really see it. I just thought it was beautiful. It's like this really lovely olive green, which pairs really well with this gold shade right here. Each of these shades is just very easy to work with. Again, they have their formula going where they have the two shimmers on top and they have the two mattes on the bottom. I'll go ahead and swatch this green and this gold so that you can see what I'm talking about. Look at that. Even though it's a matte shade, that green is so buttery. Check this out. Do you see that? So easy to use, just beautiful. I recommend every palette that I used this month. I think I loved all of them equally. But this one especially is just, it's got such a unique color story. You really don't get to see a color story like this too often. I do see golds and greens paired, but you know, you have this kind of lighter shimmery shade and this really pretty caramel colored brown here at the bottom. And I just think that it's beautiful. It's beautiful. What can I say? It's beautiful. So the next one that I use is also from ColourPop, and it also is from that Zodiac series. And this one is called the Bold and the Aries. And at first I wondered if I was really going to use this palette because it seemed a bit intimidating since the shades are so bright. Here, let me show you what I mean. I mean, this kind of pink, it's got a peachy gold reflect. And then you have this one right here. Let me open this so you can see a little bit better. I just wasn't sure. I was like, wow, this is a very red palette. Very peachy red palette. It's got this gold right here, which, you know, felt quite comfortable to me. But this color right here, I just was like, I don't know. Each of these is labeled, by the way. ColourPop gave all of them names so that you can have an idea of, you know, if you have the shade already in your collection. That being said, I love the look that I made with this palette. It came out beautifully. Again, I filmed all of these, so check it out on my Get Ready With Me playlist. I was pleasantly surprised by this palette. You get your two shimmers on the top, mattes on the bottom, and it's beautiful. Let me go ahead and swatch the red down here, which is called Fired Up, and then this All I Do Is Win here in the top, because I want you to see what it looks like. That pink with that kind of peachy gold reflect in it, and then that red, it's just such a buttery matte, this one right here. It's just beautiful. This one you almost could get away with as a blush if you really wanted to. Check this out. Look at that. Butter. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I am not mad at all. I'm so glad that I went ahead and picked it up. I'm so glad that I just, you know, didn't let the fear of a red palette get to me. I love it. Love it. It's beautiful. All right, so we have two more left. Like I said, I really didn't use a lot of palettes this time, or a lot of shadows in general. It's just one of those months. It happens to be like that sometimes, right? So this next one is also from ColourPop. It's called Mocktail. And this is what the box looks like. I don't know my obsession, you guys, with keeping boxes. I really gotta get a handle on that. It's a bit much. I don't know why I do it. Why do you guys keep boxes, or is it just me? I don't know. Anyways, this one is very similar to that Aries palette that I just showed to you, but it's a little bit different in that the color scheme overall is a little bit lighter. It's not as heavy in the reds. But again, they went ahead and they have this shade right here. It's called Iced, and it's pink, and it's got that kind of peachy gold reflect. I really like that. I think that it's very complementary to my skin tone. And then they have this lovely yellow gold right here, which I also really like. I think it's beautiful. It's light. It's a light gold, but it's pretty. It looks really nice in the skin. And again, they have the two mattes here at the bottom. So I recommend all of these little palettes, these little quads, these little cute little juicy numbers that ColourPop has come up with. I think they're all really nice. I'll go ahead and I'll swatch this gold one for you. And I'll swatch this one right beneath it. So this gold is called Shaken, and this one is called Highball. Now some of these shades, just so you know, they are not intended for use near the eye area. If you buy these palettes, there will be instructions and information about that right at the bottom. So they'll put an asterisk next to a color or a shade if there's something special about it that you need to know, okay? And then here we go. Look at that. So easy. It's so easy. And they blend so easily. I can't get over how quickly you can blend these shades. The saturation is there, and yet it's so easy to work with. Like, what? What? You know? What? Love it. All right, so this last palette, admittedly, I think I've only used this twice, and this is the Sweetest Tea 35T palette from Morphe. I think I've mentioned it before in other videos that I don't typically gravitate towards larger palettes because I just feel like for myself it's hard for me to come up with a look, only because I get so overwhelmed by the number of shades that are in a palette. I'm just like, what do I do? Where do I go? How many? It's so much. But this one really caught my eye, and I really wanted it because I love pink, and I love pink. So I grabbed it, and I'm really glad that I did. Morphe has, you know, once again hit it out of the park. It's an easy palette to work with. It's easy to make looks with, and it's I don't know how do I describe this? This palette, when I got it, I realized like I have a lot of these shades already, and so that familiarity made it so much easier for me to want to work with it. I knew right away. I was like, oh, okay, well this goes with this, that goes with that. I'm gonna be okay. Again, I think I only made like 2 looks with it. I think I filmed 1 look only, but I love it. I definitely plan to make a lot more looks with it. So you'll probably be seeing this again. Even if I don't film with it, you'll definitely be seeing looks on me again using this palette, and I'll mention it when I do. I think that was it for the month of February. I didn't use many palettes, you guys. So crazy. What I used, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9. I used 9 palettes for February. Wow. Got to work on that. Anyways, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Okay, I lied. I'm keeping the boxes.